All right, today's burst of fruit flavor is called MGTOW Red Pill TikTok Compilation Volume 90 from the Red Pill Savant.
Tony, after we've lost everything, we're free to do anything.
You got a heart, but fuck it, I'm paid. The body be fresh out the cage.
I see tall guys all the time. I'll get back home or something, be standing in line at Walmart, and I'll look over and there'll be some guy in like plant clothes, 6'2", scraggly ass looking beard, fat as fuck, jade blue eyes. I'm like, that motherfucker, if he lost that weight, he would fucking slay. Glad his fat ass doesn't. More for me. I don't care.
Being fat is healthy and sexy, though. And why are women so obsessed with tall men? Is it because the taller we are, the more safe you feel? And if that's the case, then you actually do need the patriarchy, and you need to just shut the fuck up.
But I see that shit all the time, man. It's like there's wasted talent. All these guys, they think that just because, they're not Brad Pitt that they can't get women. I think Andrew says this. I say you can either be handsome.
Just lift weights and make money, and you won't have to chase women.
People look scary. So you have the option because you can be big and strong and maybe a little ugly, but if you do well and men respect you and men follow you and you're confident, there's too many beautiful women out there for you to have an excuse not to be able to do it.
I truly don't believe any man actually wants it. He wants his woman to be loyal. He wants his woman as a wife. He doesn't want to be a husband. He just wants to do it. So she's just like a cheat. It's a degree of insecurity. Well, if I marry her, she'll know I really love her. Maybe then she won't leave me. Most men.
I'm not buying anything Andrew Tate just said there. Most men, you know what? That's a rabbit hole that's even worth going down because marriage is dead anyway.
Always get looked upon like they're not a hoe. Why is it different for women than it is for men?
Because I know women are different.
They are.
Because it's easy for us to get sex. The world doesn't think highly of you if you do what's easy. And men getting sex is hard. So if they do what's hard, it's valued. If we do what's easy, it's not.
How could you not be depressed when you wake up and just stare at your phone? How could you not be depressed when you masturbate 5 times a day, 3 times a day, every single day for years? You're convincing your brain and your body and your soul that you're getting laid, that you're...
I hope this guy has stock in lotion and paper towels.
Experiencing love and intimacy, and every single day you keep waking up alone. How could you not be depressed? How could you not be depressed when you go onto Instagram and you see people who are better than you? How could you not be depressed when you see a bleak future ahead with a career that isn't part of your purpose? How could you not be depressed when you're like 20 years old and at this point every man in your bloodline has had children apart from you? How could you not be depressed when...
Just think about all the laws that are designed to fuck you over in divorce and family court, and you won't feel that same depression that he's talking about. It's at the point now where having kids for a man is completely pointless because the court can take them away from us anytime they want to and give them to the mother, and we might never see them again. So if he's depressed, then he's still swimming in the blue ocean because there's nothing to be depressed about. It is what it is. Just be stoic about it and accept it for what it is.
70%, 80%, 90% of men have literally no love, no intimacy, no affection in their life.
Don't even look at them in public. Don't even think about talking to them.
Woman jailed after 10 false grape claims against 2 men, including one who wore tag to show he was nowhere near her.
When you see them, stay away now. That's where we are. Because he was nowhere near her. You need to understand that they will all do this to you. And you will have your life ruined.
I would never suggest to cut women out of your life entirely because you're related to some and you probably like some of them. But just be careful because they're fucking evil and the courts have their backs 100%.
He was nowhere near her. Okay? Stay away from them unless you know them. Even if you know them, there's still the possibility. He was nowhere near her.
Just be smart.
Whenever someone that's in a long-term relationship gets with someone right after they get divorced,
He's talking about Giselle Bundchen dating her personal trainer now that she's divorced from Tom Brady, which means she was already fucking him before she decided to get divorced. Even Tom Brady gets fucked in the courts, and he's the greatest quarterback in NFL history. He's like at the top of the mountain of sports gods. And at her age, which is probably 40 or 45, she thinks she could do better than Tom fucking Brady. You women have lost your goddamn minds. You're not even worth dealing with anymore unless we absolutely have to deal with you because you're just fucking crazy. And then you wonder why we want old Roe versus Wade overturned. Yeah, just give birth to him, slap him on a metal slab, and let him cry until he dies. Evil cunts.
were already talking to them behind the other person's back. It was only 2 weeks ago that she divorced Tom Brady. These two people were already talking while Tom Brady was off playing football.
Tom Brady.
All our younger guys out there, life's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't feel bad about yourselves because
Life is absolutely a marathon. It is not a sprint. When I was in 5th grade, I was told by one of my teachers that I had talent that I didn't even know I had yet. And she was right. But it took 20 years of struggling and sacrificing and thinking and confusion and depression and mistakes and more mistakes and more mistakes to figure out what that talent was. And then I found it. But it takes time sometimes. Not everybody is born a prodigy. If you believe in yourself and you're not doing anything illegal and it's not a waste of time like pursuing a gender studies degree, just don't be afraid to run over anybody you have to get where you want to be. As long as it's not children, because they don't deserve that.
23 years old, you don't got no money and you can't compete. Take your time. I was broke as shit when I was 26. I was a millionaire by age 35. Give it 5 years. Give it 10 years. Figure it out. You can do it.
Men hate acknowledging that there's a handsome privilege. They hate acknowledging that there's.
I don't think men have a problem accepting that there's
handsome privilege. Last time I checked, being a woman is what gets you free meals and free entrances into bars and clubs and chased after and cared for, which is based on 60% your beauty and 40% your personality. There is no handsome privilege. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, if it does, tell me. But I've never seen a man get into a bar for free for being handsome.
other gorgeous men that just get it because they're gorgeous. I want to mediate this problem that y'all are having online real quick and explain to y'all what the real issue is. There seems to be a sentiment where y'all think that there's a disparity between how many women are gorgeous and how many men are gorgeous. All right. There simply is not. You could tell when they break down these statistics from these dating apps how women only like swipe right on 5 to 10% of men and men swipe right on half of the women, right? So
that's why dating apps are useless.
We've all gone through that. Here's what I want to really like break down to y'all. Okay, men, if we want to be attractive, we got to work with what our parents gave us. The bone structure our parents gave us. We want to be a little more attractive. You got to grow a beard, try to get your teeth nice and straight and white, right? You gotta keep your skin clear. Women contour their face. Y'all try to change our bone structure. If everybody without makeup just stood in front of a camera and we had to rank the attractiveness, it would be the same. It would be the same.
is the same thing as me going to, like, the beach in a bikini.
Fine, let's use that. When you go to the beach, is your purpose to, play in the sand, get a tan, play in the water, maybe go do some water activities, like parasailing, I don't know, make a sand castle, maybe just go have fun with your friends, whatever. Now, on the flip side, when you post a bikini picture on social media, what purpose is there other than
Attention, with the potential for fame, which I'm not even sure what the meaning of is anymore.
to show people your body and what you look like? People seeing your body and what you look like at the beach is just a side effect. There's really no avoiding it because you're there to do other things. And I would still say it depends on the type of swimsuit that you wear, because some of them are literally so provocative, they're quite literally illegal. But on social media, posting a underwear pic, lingerie pic, bikini pic, whatever you want to call it, the whole purpose is to show off what you look like. That's the whole purpose. That's not a side effect. There's no not avoiding that because that's the purpose of what you're doing. You're doing it for validation and attention. It's not the same thing at all. It's not even close.
The best thing you can do if she doesn't text you back is to do nothing. Most guys double text, and it's the worst thing you can do because it shows that you're desperate and needy. You have to play the long game. Wait for her to message you, and if she doesn't, you must wait for an opportunity to arise. This could mean swiping up on a story so you can shoot your second shot. But
whatever happened to people calling each other and talking on a phone?
make sure you leave a decent time period. This could be a couple of weeks to
Then we wonder why millions of people function like robots every day.
a couple of months to ensure that you do not come off as desperate.
But you have to test their loyalty. Don't even look through their phone. Hey, baby, give me your phone. Unlock it. I want to do something. Unlocks, hands it over. Don't do shit. Take a selfie, give it back to her. If she'll hand you her unlocked phone, she ain't cheap. Because believe me, these girls get hundreds and hundreds of messages every day on Instagram, Facebook. If they're replying in a way that they know you won't like, they will not unlock their phone. So if they won't unlock your phone and hand it to you, then that is a very good loyalty test. She's probably not girlfriend material. By all means, get her to suck your dick, have your fun with her.
If they're not virgins, then they're not marriage material.
It's probably not the girl you want to be with.
4 red flags you should never ignore. You should never ignore when they don't want you to look in their phone. 9 times out of 10, snatch it. Find a way to look in it. Wait till they're sleeping. Another red flag would be no affection. Long kisses, warm hugs, lazy days in bed on Sunday. There's none of that. That's a red flag. Oh, you know another red flag? When they refuse to get rid of pictures of their exes. That means they haven't decided on you yet, my friend. That's a red flag. You know another red flag?
I don't know why people feel like their partner should have to burn pictures of their exes, because that's part of their past, whether you like it or you don't. They shouldn't have to erase their past just to humor your insecurity.
They come home one day and they're different sexually. They're way better. They're wanting new things. They're talking a lot more. They're doing things you've never done with them. Who's teaching them that? Where are they getting that from? That's a red flag. There's a lot of red flags that you can pretty much indicate when someone's...
She either wants to be with you or she doesn't. So whether she has pictures of her ex in the house or she doesn't is totally irrelevant.
On the bad side of things.
Not that I advocate for it, but if we're going to complain about book burning.
88% of men have 0 sexual partners. Have you ever shown them and
Right.
seen the reaction?
And the thing is, they don't believe it because
They don't believe it.
they're fucking all the guys that are the attractive guys. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens.
I'm like, hey, do you remember when you went to Jack in the Box last night? That motherfucker who gave you the taquitos?
Right.
Who's fucking him? Tell me. Oh, I didn't even think. They don't even recognize that person exists. The cashier at Walmart. I've done this before. I've taken girls to Walmart and be like, who's fucking him? Tell me right now. Point that. Who's fucking him? And then they're like, oh, yes, not every dude is the fucking male stripper or the bartender you had a one-night stand with.
I had a guy ask me a question on Instagram, and he goes, "Yo, Fit, why is it that every time I get a girl I like, even though I'm on my purpose, I go back to being a simp? I go back to beta male, whereas I go back..."
Because you lack testosterone and positive male influences in your life. Period.
back to validating her, even though I'm on my purpose. And this is the exact reason. You're using your purpose as a crutch. You're using your purpose as a way to get laid. You're only on your purpose because you feel like it can get you some booty. Women, believe it or not, think more about the guy who's complicated. They think more about the guy whose interest level is not certain. They don't know where you really stand with him. What do most guys do? Baby, I like you. Baby, I want to marry you in 1 hour. You go up to her in person. You didn't already complimented her. What did you just do? You just told her your interest level. Now, who's more invested? You are. You got to make it work.
Isn't that insane?
Every time you start to feel like a little bitch, ask yourself a question, because that's what it is. You're being a bitch. It boils down to there's two voices in your head, a bitch voice and a boss voice. And the boss voice is the one that freaking loves you and wants you.
The boss voice should always win. Unless your infant toddler daughters or nieces want to play tea time, then you can let the bitch part rent your brain for a little bit. But otherwise, the boss part of your brain should always win, because don't push that away, because it's trying to help you process reality.
To do better, but we all generally listen to the bitch voice. Or not we all don't. That's why we're here. Okay, but most people, they listen to their bitch voice. Don't listen to that bitch.
It really sucks as a man sometimes when I start treating someone well and then they start changing their behavior towards me, because then it's like, wait, so things were functioning better. You know my history.
It pisses me off because that's my love language. I love when people pay for things for me, but I have heard.
Imagine my shock.
A lot of men say the same thing, that when I finally start doing the things that she wants me to do, or she presumably would want a man to do, that's when they will kind of start getting an attitude.
They're probably more used to some kind of abusive or unhealthy relationship.
I think
because it's a transaction. There's no genuine desire. It's a transaction.
It's because feminists destroyed the nuclear family, and somehow that was supposed to empower women. But all it really made them is wannabe men with drinking problems and antidepressant abusage. Yeah.
If that's why, but I mean, if I like somebody and I wanted to be with that, intimate with them, and they fly me out, that's not going to make me want to be
not intimate.
Yeah.
Richard Hart was on a couple weeks ago, and he started talking about, well, the girls will like me, and then they'll come and they'll see that I own 7 supercars and $10 million worth of watches, and all of a sudden they don't. They were trying to make me wait. They'd change all this kind of stuff, and the whole thing changes. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's what I've seen. That personally, the same thing happen. So it just makes it very difficult when. We talked about this before. You remember I said this? Every time a girl goes on a date with a guy who's like,
I don't care how many cars and watches you have. If women are dicking you around, they're dicking you around, and life is too short to tolerate getting dicked around by women. So don't let women dick you around.
The perfect gentleman, and she makes him wait, and then she goes off and her toxic ex. She makes the world 1% worse, because what she's doing, she's rewarding the behavior of the toxic ex, and she's punishing every dude who treats him like a gentleman.
I'm starting to think it's not the men that need to go to therapy. JS.
But I'm still going on other dates with other people.
I think this is an age thing. It's got to be an age thing. A young man with the ego of, let the best man win. Because I'll tell you what, anybody that's emotionally mature, anybody that knows their value and their worth, they're not competing. They are not competing because they've been through.
Because you don't need to, because by the time you get to that point, you realize that you are the actual prize and not the used cars.
Too much. They've had their heart broke too much. They've seen what it's like to be on the other side of the I'm going to date multiple people, and they've made a choice and made a decision and said, no, if you can't see my value and you can't see my worth, it ain't worth it for me. I'd rather have peace in my life than compete with other people.
Listen to him say that again about 4.8 million times.
Remember that.
Bruh, nowadays, if you catch a female cheating on you and you ask her why the fuck she did it, she'll give you.
Don't even ask her. If she's cheating on you, just break up with her and say, throw up the deuces like Antonio Brown and just walk away. You're not going to accomplish anything positive by having confrontations with a woman who just got caught cheating on you. If you're lucky, you'll end up in a jail cell. Worst case scenario, you'll end up in the ground. Just deuces. Just peace out.
A reason, but it's like it's either your fault or she'll say some stupid shit like, oh, I'm sorry, it's because my dad's a piece of shit, or like my dad wasn't there for me.
There are only two kinds of people in this world who will never take accountability for their own actions: children and women.
Bro, what the fuck?
Ladies, if you're in a relationship, there's 3 different levels of curving men, and they all are a direct reflection of how you feel about your boyfriend. Number 1, you're flirting back. You clearly don't want your boyfriend, you just don't have the guts to break up with him, or whatever it is. Number 2, you like curve the guy, but like you're shy and timid about it. To us, this is like, I don't give you everything that you want, but like you don't want to seem unloyal, so like you would entertain this man if you were single, but like because I'm your boyfriend, you're just like, oh, sorry, no thanks. Like, but you would want to. You're flattered that he's hitting on you. And the third,
and women like that belong to the streets.
Most important one is like being rude, being firm, disrespectful. You don't care about how his feelings are. You care about your boyfriend's feelings. That one shows that man is like fucking crazy for even trying to hit on you. Like your boyfriend gives you everything you want. That man could never be the combination of things your boyfriend is, and he could never compete.
And that is another reason why body count matters. Because the more men you fuck, the more expectations you're going to have for the guy you want to settle for when you're in your 30s. And the problem is that you fuck so many different personalities that you expect the guy that you're settling for, that you don't even want to be with, to be a variation of all 86,000 of those personalities, and it's impossible. And then you go insane, and then he goes insane, and then the majority of the time it ends up in a murder-suicide.
You found what you want.
You see all them stories and then posts that girl you used to see is putting on social media. She wants you to see them and have a bad reaction to them. That's the only reason she's doing it. And when you take that power away by muting the story or going ghost, you have won. But by the time you've improved yourself, you won't care about winning. You're on to the next one. For more tips to keep you on top of you.
There's not a woman on this planet that's worth even one gray hair. I've learned from experience.
Yeah, with girls, click the plus.
Essentially, cheating starts with a series of justifications. Regular flirtation with other people because, well, you deserve it. And it's harmless fun.
And she's a queen.
Coworker, more harmless fun. Nothing's going to happen there. It's okay. These and other such behaviors lead them to thinking of specific other people. It might be somebody from their past. It might be that coworker.
All right, so he's pretty much just saying what the last guy just said.
They're thinking of somebody else regularly. Once they've pulled all these justifications out of their toolbox, it really is just a matter of time. They've convinced themselves that it's harmless, they deserve it, and this has led them to basically acting single when you're not around. For so long, it just feels natural. They live in that world of justifications. At each wrong step they take, they pull a justification out of the toolbox. They know.
And that is why women cheat on their husbands while they are overseas without guilt or shame or regret or remorse or any other feeling that a decent human being would have pulsating through their system.
How to fix that in their mind. They're okay. They're not doing anything really wrong. They deserve this. So no, if you pick up on the flirtation, the coworker crush, any of these little telltale signs that they're single when you're not around, it's just a matter of time.
You
you said, shouldn't men protect us?
Yes.
So that therefore, you feel like you're entitled to safety when you're all.
You're not worth protecting anymore. You destroyed that when you used feminism to destroy the nuclear family.
All of human history, nobody was entitled to safety.
I think men, as what they want to be known as protectors. So I don't understand.
We want to be known as husbands and fathers and providers, not human wallets. And that's all we've been reduced to. And you should be disgusted with yourselves for allowing that to happen. Look, you can either have your equality or men can care about your problems. You cannot have both.
Men want to be known as protectors to their women.
Yeah,
not women they don't know. So you are single. You've chosen not to get with a man.
Yeah.
So why are you entitled to protection from men that don't know you?
Why are women finding it more and more difficult nowadays to find a man that will marry them?
Because men and women are equal now, and straight men don't want husbands. Really, guys, this feminism shit, it was never supposed to make sense. It was just meant to destroy Western civilization and use women as the pawns.
Well, the first factor is quite simple. There is simply a lack of wifey mentalities and values amongst the current climate of modern women. Women frown upon and even stigmatize the traditional gender roles that were conventionally associated with being a wife, such as the stereotypical.
Yeah, apparently you can have 78,000 different standards for a man to meet, which also has a lot to do with why you're not married. But if we have any...
Cooking and cleaning, to being submissive, being respectable, being feminine, and carrying themselves with class and integrity, as well as respecting their husband's wishes. Even hear stupid nonsensical shit today, such as, I'm not doing wifey shit for a man that's not my husband. Then you look at the fact that their priorities are out of whack, such as seeking validation and attention from strangers on social media for social media clout, and prioritizing getting their degrees in their careers over settling down and starting a family at the peak of their sexual market value.